Have you ever noticed something surprising about many older people in Japan? Even in their late 80s and 90s, some can still be seen walking through quiet neighborhoods, climbing the stone steps of a hillside temple, or carrying groceries home with a steadiness that many people assume disappears with age. Now compare that with what many Americans begin to experience after 60, stiff knees, slower steps, a hand reaching for the rail every time they go downstairs, and somewhere in the back of the mind, a quiet fear. What if my legs stop carrying me the way they used to? Most people assume Japanese seniors simply have better genes, or that they spend hours doing special exercises. But the real answer may be much more interesting. In Japan, many strength-building movements are not treated as workouts at all. They are hidden inside ordinary life, the way people walk, step, sit, clean, garden, and move through their homes. Some of these habits come from old traditions. Others are simply daily movements repeated for decades. Today, we'll explore 6 uniquely Japanese movement and habits that may help explain why many older adults stay steady, confident, and independent well into later life. You don't need to move to Japan to learn from them. But after this, you may never look at everyday movement the same way again. If any of this sounds familiar, you're certainly not alone. Maybe you've noticed that getting out of a chair takes a little more effort than it used to. Maybe you pause before stepping off a curb, or find yourself thinking twice before walking on uneven ground. These changes can happen so gradually that many people simply accept them as an unavoidable part of getting older. But growing older doesn't automatically mean giving up confidence in the way you move. One of the most inspiring lessons from Japan is that healthy aging isn't built on extraordinary effort. It's built on ordinary movements, repeated with intention over many years. And that's exactly what we're about to discover, one quiet habit at a time. Before we get started, drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Number 6, Namba Walking. Walking like the old streets of Japan. Most of us never think about how we walk. We simply put one foot in front of the other. But if you had walked through Japan during the Edo period hundreds of years ago, you might have noticed something completely different. Messengers, craftsmen, and even samurai often moved with a style now known as Namba Walking, instead of swinging the opposite arm and leg together the way most of us do today. The arm and leg on the same side moved forward together. It looked unusual, but it allowed the body to stay remarkably quiet and balanced. Now compare that with the way most of us naturally walk. When your left leg steps forward, your right arm swings forward, then the pattern switches. This opposite arm, opposite leg motion creates a gentle rotation through the hips and upper body. It's a perfectly natural walking pattern and works well for speed. But as we get older, some people find that excessive twisting and longer strides can make them feel less stable, especially if they already have weak knees or poor balance. Namba Walking takes a different approach. Try this. Stand tall and relax your shoulders. Bend your knees just slightly. Take a short step forward with your right foot, and at the same time let your right arm move gently forward. Then repeat with your left foot and left arm. Keep your steps short. Let your entire foot touch the ground softly instead of striking heavily with your heel. Try not to twist your waist from side to side. Instead, imagine your chest and hips moving forward together as one unit. Walk this way for just 1 minute. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. That's completely normal. But after a few steps, many people notice that their movements become quieter, smoother, and more controlled. This isn't a faster way to walk. It's a calmer way to move. And perhaps that's the lesson hidden inside this centuries-old Japanese tradition. Sometimes protecting your legs isn't about taking bigger steps. It's about making every step more intentional. Number 5, Suriashi, the quiet sliding step most people never noticed. If you ever watch a traditional Japanese no performance, a kendo match, or even a sumo wrestler preparing to move, you'll notice something unusual. Instead of lifting their feet high with every step, they glide across the floor with slow, controlled movements. This technique is called Suriashi, which simply means sliding feet. At first, it almost looks too simple to matter, but that's exactly what makes it so fascinating. By keeping the feet close to the ground, Suriashi reduces unnecessary movement and encourages better control of balance. It also helps train body awareness, something that naturally declines as we get older and plays an important role in preventing trips and stumbles. Here's a simple way to experience it. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and bend your knees just slightly. Keep your back tall and your eyes looking forward. Now slide your right foot forward only 6 to 8 inches, keeping the sole of your foot lightly brushing the floor. Avoid lifting your foot high into the air. As your weight shifts forward, let your left foot quietly follow until you're back in your starting stance. Continue with slow, even steps for 1 minute, focusing on staying smooth rather than moving quickly. You may notice that your legs begin working in a different way. Your ankles become more active, your weight shifts more gently, and every step demands a little more attention. Sometimes the safest step isn't the highest one, it's the one that never loses contact with the ground. Have you noticed something interesting? None of these are intense workouts. In fact, most Japanese older adults don't think of them as exercise at all. They're simply everyday ways of moving. And the next habit may be the most surprising yet, because it doesn't happen in a gym or on a walking trail, it happens right inside the home. Number 4, Tatahiza. Why Japanese homes quietly train stronger legs. Walk into a traditional Japanese home, and you may notice something missing: chairs. For generations, many families have spent time sitting on tatami mats, sharing meals at low tables, or simply relaxing closer to the floor. While modern homes in Japan are becoming more westernized, this tradition is still part of daily life for many older adults. What makes this so interesting isn't the sitting itself, it's everything that comes with it. Every time you sit down, you bend your hips, knees, and ankles through a comfortable range of motion. Every time you stand back up, your thighs, hips, and core work together to lift your body. Over the course of a day, these small movements may be repeated dozens of times without ever feeling like exercise. You can safely borrow this idea at home. Place a firm cushion on the floor and practice sitting down slowly, then standing back up with control. If needed, use a sturdy chair or countertop for support. Start with 3 to 5 repetitions, moving at a pace that feels comfortable. The goal isn't to sit on the floor all day. The goal is to give your legs more opportunities to move naturally instead of spending hours in the same chair. Sometimes, stronger legs aren't built in the gym, they're built one everyday movement at a time. Number 3, SOAG, the hidden strength inside everyday chore. If you visit an older neighborhood in Japan early in the morning, you may notice something surprisingly ordinary. An elderly woman is sweeping the walkway outside her home. A man is watering plants. Someone else is wiping the wooden floor by hand instead of using a mop. To them, these aren't workouts, they're simply part of the day. But look a little closer, and you'll see something interesting. Every time they squat to reach the floor, stretch to clean a window, carry a watering can, or turn their body while sweeping, they're practicing the same kinds of movements that physical therapists often encourage later in life: bending, reaching, rotating, balancing, and standing back up with control. You don't have to clean your house the Japanese way to learn from this idea. Instead of rushing through chores, slow them down just a little. When you pick something up from the floor, bend with control instead of dropping quickly. When you sweep or wipe a countertop, let your whole body rotate gently instead of moving only your arms. And whenever it's safe, use your legs to lower yourself rather than relying on your back. The goal isn't to burn calories. It's to stop thinking of movement as something that only happens during exercise. Sometimes, the strongest legs are built one everyday task at a time without ever feeling like a workout. Number 2, Ashura, the foot habit most Westerners lost long ago. Take a look at a pair of traditional Japanese zori or geta sandals, and you'll notice something unusual. Unlike most modern shoes, they don't wrap tightly around the foot. Instead, they stay in place with a simple strap between the toes to walk comfortably. The wearer naturally grips the sandal with the toes instead of letting the foot simply ride along. This simple habit reminds us of something many people have forgotten. Our feet aren't just platforms, they're designed to move, flex, and help us stay balanced. Yet modern shoes with thick soles and rigid support can do so much of the work that our toes gradually become less active over time. You don't need traditional Japanese sandals to practice this idea. Try standing barefoot on a safe surface. Spread your toes as wide as you comfortably can, then gently press them into the floor for 5 seconds before relaxing. Repeat this 5 to 10 times. Next, slowly rise onto your toes, hold for a moment, and lower yourself with control as your feet become more aware of the ground beneath them. Your ankles and lower legs naturally become more engaged as well. The Japanese have long understood the importance of respecting the feet because every journey begins there. After all, stronger legs don't start at the knees. They begin with the part of the body that touches the ground first. Number 1, the real secret was never a workout. After everything we've explored, you may have noticed a pattern: Namba Walking, Suriashi, traditional floor living, everyday cleaning, paying attention to the feet. None of them were designed as fitness programs. In fact, for generations, many Japanese people never thought of these movements as exercise at all. They were simply part of daily life, repeated so often that strength, balance, and flexibility became natural byproducts rather than goals. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson we can learn. Many of us have been taught to separate movement from life. We drive to the gym, exercise for 30 minutes, then spend the rest of the day sitting. But healthy movement doesn't have to exist in one scheduled block of time. It can happen every time you walk across the room with more control, every time you rise from the floor instead of the couch, every time you slow down. Bend carefully, reach with intention, or let your feet reconnect with the ground. You don't have to copy Japanese culture. You don't have to wear traditional sandals or transform your home overnight. But you can borrow a simple philosophy. Let movement become part of the way you live, not just something you do. Because the goal isn't to exercise until you're 90. The goal is to keep moving naturally when you are. And sometimes, the strongest legs are built not by doing more, but by moving better, every single day. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have arthritis, joint pain, balance problems, or you're recovering from an injury, don't feel pressured to try everything at once. Choose just one movement that feels comfortable and build from there. Keep a sturdy chair or countertop nearby whenever you practice. And stop if you feel sharp pain or dizziness. Small, consistent steps are far more valuable than pushing too hard. If you have any concerns about your health, consult your doctor or physical therapist before beginning a new movement routine. The choice to move differently starts today. You don't have to live in Japan to learn from the wisdom behind these movements. You don't need expensive equipment, a gym membership, or hours of free time. What we've explored today isn't a secret formula. It's a different way of thinking about movement. Instead of saving all your activity for a workout, you begin to make movement part of everyday life, one step, one reach, one quiet habit at a time. Aging isn't about avoiding every ache or trying to turn back the clock. It's about protecting the freedom to keep doing the things that matter most. Walking through your neighborhood, playing with your grandchildren, working in your garden, climbing the stairs without fear, living independently for as long as possible. That journey doesn't begin next year. It begins with the very next step you take. So don't feel like you have to master all the 6 habits today. Choose just one that spoke to you the most. Practice it for a few minutes each day, and let consistency do what intensity never could. Small movements, repeated over time, have a remarkable way of shaping a stronger future. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which Japanese movement surprised you the most? Is there one you're excited to try this week? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read as many of them as we can, and your experience may encourage someone else who is beginning the same journey. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to Senior Wellness for more evidence-informed tips and inspiring stories to help you stay strong, steady, and independent for years to come. Until next time, take good care of yourself and keep moving.